recognize the passing of Chandrakant Patel. We realize that someone very special has been lost to us. I am happy that my family and closest friends, some of whom have come from very far, could be here today to remember my father. My father, Chandrakant Patel, touched the lives of countless people with his caring, helpfulness, and consideration. Shrathanjali Patel was a wonderful father who raised my sister and I with happiness and joy. His generosity and care as a father will always be remembered. I will always remember the times we spent together as he taught me chess and gave me challenging math problems and puzzles on long car rides, and telling my sister and I old vartas or Indian stories. Chalo tana ek varta ko, he used to say. I remember all the silly nicknames that he constantly had for me, and now that is a habit that I have happily passed down to my children. With a silly nickname for my children and wife that changes every week or so. He was also a wonderful husband to my mother for 41 years, from their marriage to India to their arrival and stay in the United States. He also had an opportunity to be a grandfather, although unfortunately for a very short time. But in this time, he showed an exceptional warmth to his 5 grandchildren. Yes, my father has many, many things to be proud about. In the course of one generation, in his lifetime, he started from a small village where he farmed the fields of rural Gujarat and Rajasthan and became a successful student and went on to Banaras Hindu University and then went on to get a master's in chemical engineering at Tulane University in New Orleans. He then went on to become a successful and hardworking engineer, and he was a businessman, and he went to find any opportunity he could to take care of us and support us. From Detroit, Michigan, to Vicksburg, Mississippi, to Palatine, to Darien, near Chicago, Illinois, to Anderson, Indiana, to Troy, Michigan, and ultimately to Melbourne, Florida. And in this process and life journey, he found financial stability and an increased quality of life for our family. My father should take much credit in the fact that my sister and I now we each lead happy and successful lives. In the course of his one lifetime, in one generation, our family has come a very long way, perhaps the greatest distance one can ever reach in a single generation. And his perseverance, hard work, and dedication to the family made this happen. In addition to being a wonderful father, husband, and grandfather, it was often the genuine acts of kindness and concern that made the largest impression on all of us. He had a wide and extensive circle of friends, and the bonds of his friendship were deep, strong, and true. His friends and family remember all of the smaller and simple acts of consideration, which, now that we reflect upon it, were very big to all of us. Some of these examples include carrying luggage for friends, even in his weakened and debilitated state in his later years, and serving friends for dinner. Not only the dinners that my mother and I had invited people to, but also to the dinners that others had invited him to. We can remember countless other instances as we reflect upon his life today. Badana dan raktata, one can say about him. I know that I had a chance to tell my father how much I will miss him and all the reasons that I deeply appreciate him during his last days. But I realize that will never be enough. I have to keep going over the facts in my mind to console me that my father was quietly suffering, and now the suffering from cancer is over, and that his passing away was inevitable, and that his final stages of life, his pain and discomfort, were brief and not prolonged, and that he deserved peace, and he is at peace now. But it is still very painful to accept this great loss. And in that struggle, everyone recognized my father's spark and immense strength. His life should have been longer and happier and without such an unfortunate struggle. This is very, very difficult to accept. What would my dad have wanted? Well, my father would have wanted us to be happy, to take care of ourselves and each other. Because we know that if my father was still alive and able, he would be trying to help us and would be showing constant concern for us. We will miss you. I will miss you. I miss you right now and always. Your presence was a gift to all of us. I am so happy that our closest friends and family could be here today to remember my father. We love you. I love you. Your kind and gracious spirit will live forever in our memories. Be at peace now.
Firstly, thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting Mom and the rest of the family in this difficult time. So many of you have traveled from so far away to be here and have supported each other as we mourn. Dad's spirit is looking down on us today and smiling because he is so proud of the respect that you all have shown him here today, and he's honored by your presence here. The world lost a great man on Monday, and I believe that is why we are all here. I remember our wedding in Troy, Michigan. I was telling one of the uncles how impressed I was with the support and help that Mom and Dad received from all of their friends and family to make our wedding such a memorable event. The uncle turned to me and said, "All of this is possible because of one man, Chandrakant." He told me how Dad was always the first one to get up and help anyone and everyone, no matter what the task was. And in return, everyone felt the need to be there for him. This is just one short story. Each person in this room could get up today and mention several ways that Dad's actions have impacted their life. They say actions speak louder than words. So here are some small actions that show me the type of man that Dad was. When we would come to visit Mom and Dad here in Melbourne, he would be waiting at the door and walk out the door as we arrived. He would carry all of our luggage into the house. He would fight with me, and he wouldn't allow me to do it. When he came to our house for Thanksgiving, he insisted on doing all the dishes and cleaning everything. When we finished dinner, he wouldn't let me take my plate to the sink. He would grab my plate out of the hands and take it to the sink himself. When he became more ill and more weak, he actually apologized to me for not being able to carry my luggage. These are the little things that I will always remember about him. His unselfishness, his thoughtfulness, and his ability to give himself completely to all of those he loved. His legacy will live on through his children and their children. Although he is gone, he will never be forgotten. He will always be here in our thoughts, in our prayers, and in our hearts. We love him very much. I was reading the news this morning and coincidentally, I came across a letter from a wife to her husband when she knew that her time was near. She wrote, "Please don't cry because I died. Please smile because I lived. Know that I'm in a happy place. Know that we will meet again, and I will see you soon." So thank you very much. I guess at this time we can proceed with the viewing. Or, huh?